Hey guys, what's going on? You know, I know that a lot of people think and wonder and have even asked, why all of a sudden now? Why all of a sudden now? Why all of a sudden after all this time do you do the things you do? You are, creating all of this awareness, and a lot have supported me on it in that, they think that it does help a lot of other people. But, to answer the question, the reason I'm doing all this now is because I, like some people, was also under the false sense of reality. I have mentioned this before that I did, keyword did, past tense, suffer from codependency issues. And we learned what a codependent person is. A codependent person doesn't have a sense of identity, lack of self-love. I was the people pleaser. I was the one who would put everyone's happiness ahead of my own. I would throw mine to the side, and as long as everybody else was happy, then I was happy. I projected onto people the kind of love that I wanted, the kind of love that I thought I really, deserved. And even though it was from me, genuinely from me, because I didn't ask for anything in return, it, needless to say, I sold myself short. I sold myself short with a lot of different people, not just in romantic relationships, but just in my life in general. I really did. And, in trying to keep an even keel of environments and dynamics, I sacrificed my opinions, I sacrificed my thoughts, and I pretty much just allowed people to say and do as they please. I allowed people to walk all over me. I allowed people to abuse and use my kindness. And they pretty much thought that, well, you're so desperate to be in this kind of dynamic, and you think that it's, it's genuine and it's love, and it's, that I can say and do whatever I want to do and say, and you're not going to do anything about it. You're too sensitive. You cry too much. You're overly emotional. I've been called all kinds of things, and my life was not always rainbows and sunshine. I trusted a lot of people. A lot of people betrayed me. Codependent people will stay in toxic dynamics with the hopes that things will change, because they just, deep inside, they want to be loved. And people who are willing to take that for granted will do that. They'll appease us. They'll this is why I'm so stern on who I allow in my life now. Because once I went through the motions, once I went through the help that I needed and the understanding of it, that was the day that I created the biggest boundaries ever. And some people might take it as me being kind of cold, a little bit more stern and bold with it. But that's just part of my evolution. See, once you break that chain, you break that link, and you start to think differently, and you start to look into things a bit more thoroughly, people who are toxic towards you will take offense to that. When you decide to take control of what it is that you want to do with yourself, and you say, no, this is not, no, this ain't for me. That nonsense you're doing is not for me. Okay? Everybody says, well, we're a product of our environment. All right? We are basically who we're raised to be, but a product of our environment. Let me tell you something. I grew up in some of the shittiest neighborhoods in New York. Okay? I grew up in Brownsville, Brooklyn, and then from there I moved to Southside Jamaica, Queens. Okay? Y'all are familiar with these areas. You already know how it is. And a lot like to assume that I'm from other areas, but I'm not. See, the thing of it is that instead of becoming the product of my environment, I chose to do something else with myself. Don't get me wrong, because I know in my videos, y'all can hear it come out of my mouth sometimes. But I chose to implement certain things that I've learned and utilize them to my advantage. However, being a product of your environment does not mean that you don't have choices. So if you are a product of a narcissistic family, if you're a product of a very toxic family, you get to choose. You still get to choose how you want to live your life. And if you notice that the toxicity is beyond measure, you notice that the cycles are continuous and it's depleting you, it's depleting your health, then that's where you got to make your choice. You got to choose how you want to live your life. You got to choose, do I want healthy and happy, or do I want dramatic and toxic? And I know that when it comes to a lot of what I put up, because, it fluctuates. People come and go. People agree, people don't. People support, people don't. I mean, I'm not here to force anyone to, to understand. All right. Trying to be an influence. There's that very thin line between trying to be an influence and helping, educate people and trying to control people and what it is that, they're doing with themselves. That very thin line, you have to be careful with it because you don't want to cross that. Okay. But if you are consistently going through the same patterns and you're not doing anything to change that, you're not doing anything to break free from that, then my clear-cut answer is stop complaining. Stop complaining. If you're not going to try to do anything to get out of that hazardous area, that hazardous part of your life, then you really should not be bitching and moaning about it. All right. It's people again have choices. You reach a certain age in your life where you are able to make clear, concise choices. And if you continuously make excuses for people and their toxic behaviors because they hold certain roles in your life, then you have no right to complain about the circumstances that come behind it. All right. You got people that are trying to deplete you of your energy, your finances, your life. And yet you sit there and say, not you personally, but generally sit there and say, well, this person is my mom or my dad or been my best friend for like 20 years or, we've worked together for so long or they've been in my life for so long and, they promised that they were going to change. Those are excuses. Okay. Because I'm saying it like this because I have the balls to say it. All right. I have the balls to do and the courage to do what a lot of others don't. Quite few do, but a lot of others don't. Okay. Just because they're your family, just because they're your friends, just because they're people that you've known for some odd years, just because you share a child together, just because does not give it the right to use that as an excuse and saying, this is just who they are. I mean, what am I supposed to do about it? Break free, cut ties. Sometimes you have to, not because you want to, but because you have to, and if they cared that much about you, if they really, really genuinely cared about your well-being, your having a good mental health, good mental stability, then they will see the patterns. They will see the errors in their own ways and they'll want to work on themselves because they find being part of your life is just as important. Okay. An apology is nothing unless it's accompanied by changed behavior. We've all seen that around plenty of times. Okay. Changed behavior. And I'm not talking about putting on a mask and saying, I've changed. I'm all shiny and brand new again. I'm all polished up. Let's interact with one another again. No, I'm talking about show and proof. That's what I'm talking about. And oftentimes they're going to play that significance card too. They're going to play that. I've been in your life 15, 20 years. We've been through our BS, but we always got through it. No, we've been through our BS and I didn't have the foresight to put my foot down. okay, because of your toxic bullshit. Cut off. Oh, but we family. You don't cut off family. You think so? How many scapegoats are out there? How many scapegoats are watching me now? How many scapegoats decided I ain't putting up with none of this shit from my family? Forget that. I'm cutting them off. If they love me, if they cared about me, they'll change their ways. They'll see how toxic their bullshit is, and they're going to change and do what they got to do if they want to be a part of my life. All right? Friends, co-workers, you name it, all get cut off. You can pull the cards if you want to, but just understand something. I don't bluff. Listen, guys, stop giving seasonal people lifetime passes, all right? We're getting a little too old to be indulging in stuff like that, all right? Especially if you got children. If you got children and you want to see the best for them and you want to see them, live in an environment that is healthy, that's safe, that has normality, you have to be the creator of that environment. All right. Not only for your kids, but for you too. You have to stop and say to yourself, yo, what is the issue? Analyze things, jot things down. You start noticing that things are just repetitive and things are going over and over and over. Yeah, there's a problem there. There seriously is. But I just wanted to get that message out to you guys. Okay. I've divulged in something very personal about myself because something? It's okay to sit there and point the finger at other people, but sometimes you gotta point that thumb right back at yourself. There's always room for growth, all right? Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Break those generational curses. Seriously, break them, all right? Even if you suffer from NPD, codependency, ASPD, anything that is remotely dysfunctional and toxic, break those cycles. Break those curses. You'll be glad that you did. Trust me. I'm telling you. Trust me. You'll be glad that you did. All right, guys. So I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for your time. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. All that good stuff. All right. And until next time, still working on my other videos. I'll speak to you soon. Namaste.